Good morning, everybody. Hey, welcome to Wednesday, November 25th. Hey, I want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving as we get ready to start the holiday season. Folks, even in 2020, we have a lot to be thankful for. We live in the country with the most freedoms that we could ever imagine. I hope that you'll take time to be thankful for all the things that have gone well this year and all the blessings that you have had as we head into this Thanksgiving season. A lot of what I'm thankful for right here. Hey, as we get ready to start with Dave here in just a moment. Hey, the market set some records yesterday. We're going to talk about that and other economic news to head you into the Thanksgiving holiday.
7 light temp. Even smell the turkey. Well, that's why I can't smell the turkey. The air is awful thin up here. We're way high in the markets at the moment, and the higher you get, the thinner the air gets, and that kind of means things probably end up taking a little dive for profit taking, if nothing else. We'll see if it's happening yet. Time to look in on your finances. And we do that with the help of Phillip Statler from Statler Financial Services, who is on the phone this morning. Phillip, can you smell the turkey, or is the air awful thin where you are too?
Hey, the air is thin, but I will tell you this morning I am preparing. So I got my rub ready, I got my injection ready. So now, as soon as I get off the radio with you, and I make a few trades that I have to make this morning, then I am in the kitchen injecting and getting my turkey ready to smoke tomorrow morning.
Are you the family cook for holidays?
For the turkey, yes. Everything else, no.
Okay. That sounds a little bit more like the stereotype. Gladys was always banned from my grill, so the meat was my baby, and the rest of it, okay, fine. She could mess around with the rest of the stuff if she wanted to. What we're referring to is the thin air we got right now up at where the market is, because the Dow did something that was borderline earth-shaking yesterday, even justified a 30-second presidential statement, hauled all of the reporters in the White House into the press room, and Trump said, hey, the Dow's over 30, and basically walked out. We closed at 30,046 yesterday. NASDAQ is just a few bucks away from their record, and the Standard & Poor's is about $10 off of their all-time record. So this is definitely nosebleed territory after yesterday's trading, isn't it?
It really is. We hit records, on Monday. We hit intraday records, but yesterday we hit some closing records across, I think across the board. I know the Dow and the S&P 500. I'm not sure about the NASDAQ, but hey, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Oh, yeah, I think if I remember what I was checking, at least intraday highs, NASDAQ is only about 100 or so away from their all-time high as well, and up 156 yesterday. They got a little momentum going on the tech and medical supplies heavy exchange. I was asking you if you saw any events overnight, because there was a pretty substantial dip in the futures overnight, and you and I are both kind of looking at our tickers and saying, looks like just profit taking, which wouldn't be a surprise, right?
It would not be a surprise at all, Dave. I mean, let's face it, we hit all-time highs. You got to figure that's going to trigger some selling across the board, especially, people don't really think about it much, but hey, as you head into the last month of the year, if you have some losses in previous part of the year, then now's a good time to take some profits to help offset some of those losses. So we could have seen that going on too.
Yeah, that plus, then, there's another syndrome, too, and you and I were joking about it yesterday, today being the day before Thanksgiving. Starting about noon, there's going to be a whole pile of traders heading for the free eggnog at the door and not paying a lot of attention. That means weird things can happen as things get really light at the end of the day. And if I had gobs of money to throw around and didn't have to pay commissions on my trades, I'd probably take some money off the table, too, while things were high, and just kind of let it sit for a couple of days until everybody was back to the party on Friday.
Well, and you probably will see some of that today, too, because I'm looking at the indexes right now, and they're just not they're kind of lackluster to say the least. I mean, we do have a little bit of green on the NASDAQ, but everything else has got a tinge of red to it.
Yeah, it's pretty much just pink. I mean, before we give anybody the idea that it's a major sell-off. But yeah, the futures kind of dipped, and I saw some profit taking there. And it's kind of one of those mornings in which the macro stuff that we get out of the government really isn't overly exciting. The Thursday first-time jobless claims figures came in. The government tallied 778,000 first-time jobless claims last week. The expectation I had from my people was 730, so that was a miss. But continuing claims were reasonably close to being on target, about 10/100ths of a percent off of where it was, 6.07 million. So we're not really looking at a really exciting day as far as macro stuff is concerned.
No, we're not. Now, one of the things that I just was looking at, Dave, I mean, that what we're talking about macros, that the GDP is supposed to come out today, and I haven't seen it. Have you?
I have not seen it on my ticker, and because the schedule is all messed up with the holiday, what we're going to see, we don't know. It hasn't come up on my ticker, and I've been hawking it. I'm wondering whether or not it's going to wait till Friday on that.
It may be. It may be because I don't see it anywhere on any of my sheets. So, and usually that'll be a red thing going across the top of my screen when it comes in. So.
Yeah, and that does tend to move it. One bit of overall news that is good, durable sales, the stuff that lasts, that businesses buy, a bit of a surprise. It was up 1.3% in October, and that, I gather, was a surprise over what your analysts were expecting.
It was. They expected about 0.5%. So that between 0.5% and 1%, depending on who you looked at. But so either way, hey, that was a good number. And given what we saw last month in terms of lockdowns starting to happen, I think that's good.
Absolutely. It's a good sign given the time frame it was being measured, without a doubt whatsoever. I'm still not seeing anything. Oh, wait a minute. U.S. economy surges by a record 33.1% annual pace in the third quarter. Matches initial estimates. The headline just came across with the first GDP read.
33.1. So,
yep.
So that's pretty much in line. I mean, I had some folks thinking it should be 33.2. So, hey, that's, and I have another folks that thought it should be 33.5. So, either way, it's relatively close.
I was going to say that's within the margin of error anyway. Earnings season continues. You got some reports out this morning from the companies that get traded on the exchanges too, don't you?
We do. Yesterday we talked about retail, and so we'll continue down that path today because we had several retail establishments report again yesterday or this morning. So we had Gap. They reported earnings of 25 cents a share, but they missed. They were expected to make about 32 cents a share. So that was a miss there. Revenue beat, though. They were hurt, obviously, by increased marketing costs and shipping costs. That's one of the things I think these retailers are finding is that shipping costs are going up because supply and demand when it comes to shipping. They did see a surge of 61% on their online sales compared to a year ago. So that was some good news, but they're getting beat up this morning, down 11.3% this morning.
Some of these companies that are just learning and had to really race to get into the online sales game are kind of learning the expense figures they need to include in their pricing as they do it, aren't they?
Well, some of that is true. And a lot of times, people look at top line and they forget that not all the top line is going to end up in the bottom line, and they got to make some adjustments. So
I was wondering why they were at the top of my big loser list this morning. That kind of explains it, doesn't it?
Because they are a big loser today.
Yep.
So we got Nordstrom's, high-end retailer. They came in, earned 34 cents a share for the last quarter. That was a lot better than expected. They're expected to actually lose 6 cents a share. So now the revenue did come in below the forecast. And so, again, so for them, they're a high-end retailer. They have a lot of nice stuff. And so one of the things they said was that they got hit because formal wear, the demand for formal wear slid. And Dave, that kind of makes sense because everybody was staying home. There's no parties. We're supposed to be socially distancing. So that kind of hurt hurt Nordstrom's this morning, though they
My
are
reaction,
getting.
my reaction to formal wear being soft is, gosh, what a shock.
Yeah, really. But they are trading up this morning on 5.3%.
Cool. Good to hear.
Let's see what else we got. We got a couple, I'm going to call staples, right? We got Deere,
Hmm.
tractor maker. So I call them kind of a gauge of construction and that kind of stuff and farming because that's their main industry. So they had a really good quarter. They beat by 90 cents a share. Revenue was ahead of expectations also. And obviously they benefited from some improvement in the farming economy, crop rising, those type of things. As we look at Deere, they're trading up almost 2.7% this morning. Actually, they will open if they continue at a new 52-week high right now at $268.50.
I was going to say that is not a cheap stock to begin with. They're on the high end of the range.
You know, it's funny. I can remember when that stock traded for $85 a share.
Yep. My friends up at the Farm Belt are happy to hear Deere doing well, so I'm glad to see that.
They are. Hey, I got one slipped my mind here. I got American Eagle Outfitters.
Hmm.
They beat estimates just by a penny a share, but they still earned 35 cents. So that was good. Revenue was just slightly above what Wall Street had expected them to do. They are trading down this morning almost 3%. And of course, that I would think that's probably good. Their 52-week high is $18.80, and they're right now at 17.27. So I'm sure there's some profit taking after yesterday's close on that
Could
one.
could very well
Um,
be.
the last one I
Got it.
have for you is technology. Dell Computers. They came in and beat by 63 cents a share. Revenue came in above forecast, which, let's face it, that makes sense to me because everybody's staying at home. They need new laptops because they find out it's not competing and not keeping up with what they need. So doing well there for them. They are up slightly this morning, about a tenth of a percent. So not much for them this morning.
That is a beat, and that's good
That's
news.
right.
I have an investment opportunity for you.
Okay.
The announcement came out this morning that the nation of Peru is going to be issuing a 100-year bond. Interest rate 3.3%. So retirement counselors everywhere should be suggesting that their clients just invest their nest egg in that, put $100,000 into a 100-year bond from Peru, and then cryogenically freeze yourself because in 100 years you'll be fixed for the rest of your life, right?
Yeah, I don't think so, Dave. That's there's two scary things in that, right? 100 years in Peru. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
The hundred
definitely.
year bond just absolutely caught my eye. I was thinking, okay, now who's going to be optimistic enough to stick that in their IRA and wait until the minimum withdrawal date, right?
Especially since the interest rates are so low right now. I mean, you're gonna have to wait the 100 years to get your money back. Number one, and number two, if you need your money in between, interest rates have got to go up eventually, and that means the value of that 100,000 is going to drop significantly.
Exactly. My tongue was in my cheek, I promise you. Well, setting the table again this morning, it was a barn burner of a day yesterday on Wall Street. We kind of alluded to a little bit of profit taking on an impendingly slow traffic day today, 45 minutes early. Where are we going, Phillip?
It's still a mixed bag this morning, Dave. We got the Dow down about a quarter of a percent. S&P 500 is basically even. I mean, it's down like less than a tenth of a percent, $2.82. We got the Nasdaq heading up slightly, about a quarter of a percent this morning. So a little bit of a mixed bag there as we head into the holiday. We've got silver rebounding just a tad, up a half a percent from yesterday's close. Gold up a third of a percent. Hey, you're going to like this, Dave. Crude oil is getting closer to 50. It's up almost 0.7% to $45.21 a barrel.
Now, that's about where we'd like to stay now for a little while. That's a good number.
Yeah, don't hold your breath for that one, though.
I'm not, but I can always hope. Overseas markets, by and large, you can read what was happening to us by what the other markets were doing. Asian rim markets mostly up on the fact that we had such a good day yesterday. European markets are watching us and our futures and saying, maybe we ought to take some profits because they're off fractionally midway through their day. Phillip, it's always necessary to have a plan, and knowing where the risk is a big part of that plan. How do I find you to find out where it is in my portfolio?
David, give us a call at 863-382-0037. Hey, folks, let me just say, I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. I'm thankful that you tune in and listen to us every day. Dave and I are just really thankful for that and appreciative of it. Hey, catch me this weekend. I'm sure this weekend will be a repeat of one of our shows because of the holidays, but grab it anyway because you probably haven't heard it. 6 a.m. on Saturday morning, noon on Saturday, and then 10 a.m. Sunday morning on Highlands News Talk 7:30.
All righty. I don't know whether it's a repeat or not. I know I loaded it up yesterday afternoon, so we're ready for you, and it'll be there on News Talk 7:30 all weekend. Phillip, I'll add my thanks to the listeners, and to you, I wish you and your family a very happy Thanksgiving, and we'll catch you on Monday, all right?
All right, man. You have a great holiday weekend, and we will talk to you again on Monday.
Thank you much, sir. It's 105.7 Light FM and Statler Financial Services, Phillip Statler. If you
Hey, I want to thank you guys again for joining us today. I hope that you are thankful for the life you have. Have a great Thanksgiving holiday, and I'll be back with you on Monday.